Man, Yale is good. It's a really good basketball team. There's a reason they've been successful. Been an NCAA tournament participant 3 out of the last 5 years, I believe. A lot of those kids have won an NCAA tournament game. So, I mean, I was aware they weren't going to come in here and be intimidated by whatever the environment was. But I am proud of our team for finding a way to win against a good team on a night where we obviously did not shoot the basketball well and pretty much got dominated inside. To be perfectly frank, we have to address that. But like I tell my team, there are no bad wins. So we'll take them and we'll figure out a way to learn from it and try to get better next time.
Coach, what was it like to be gifted the blanket at the end, the highest honor blanket that one can receive?
I don't know how to even quantify that. It's really kind of what you get into coaching for, right? Is to have such an impact on the kid's life that he feels like he wants to do something like that for you. And shy of getting emotional, it means a big deal to me, and probably one of the highlights of my coaching career at this point.
Did you know you were going to receive that blanket before you went out there?
I did not. And, you know, when they told me there at half court what it meant, that's when that sunk in that, you know what, at 22 years old when I got into coaching at Furman, that's the type of impact I wanted to be able to have. And winning games are a ton of fun. I'm as competitive as anybody. I want to win every game, but it's bigger than wins and losses. Like I said before, I want to be able to feel like 10 years from now, when they're done playing basketball, they still feel like I've helped them somehow. And obviously that's something that Lindy and his family feel at this point.
Was it a little more special today to see Lindy kind of do what he did the last 2.5 minutes with everything going on?
Yeah, very fitting. You know, I don't necessarily believe in coincidences. That's how you say that word, I think. And so it was very fitting that he was the guy, even on a night where he wasn't his best, when we really needed it, he was able to put us over the top.
What was it like to see your team going out and being able to force some turnovers, especially really early on in the game?
It was cool. I mean, we haven't done it as much over my first 2 years as I would have liked. It's the way we want to play defensively. The flip side of that is I think we had forced 14 turnovers or something like that in the first half, and we only had 27 points. And so we weren't converting those into baskets, which is the next part of that. You have to be able to capitalize, especially the way we're designed to play with our length, athleticism, and depth. Got to turn those turnovers into points. There were a couple that should have. Cam obviously misses a dunk. We had 2 wide open threes, Cam and Lindy. Ball just didn't go in the basket. But it's something we can build off of.
What's your message to the guys whenever, you know, Cam's missing a dunk, Dog was missing 5 threes, I think it was. What's your message to them?
That's why the identity of our program is defense first. They're going to be nights like that, and really good teams. And we're not that yet. We're good. We're not really good. Find a way to win consistently, no matter what the circumstances are. So hats off to our team for figuring it out. But again, a lot of the credit for us not playing as well goes to Yale. They're a good team. I totally expect them to be right in the thick of things to win their league and be an NCAA tournament participant again later in the year.
What do you think of Ice's play today?
Thought it was very good. He missed a couple reads in there on his ball screen coverages, but I thought, again, his attacking set the tone for us. He got in the paint and created havoc. He, even getting in there, sometimes missing a layup, drawing a second defender, opened up offensive rebounding opportunities for Keelan and Caleb and Yor. And so we were able to capitalize just off of him putting pressure on the rim and getting into the paint and playing strong and physical against their guards.
You said you don't really call fouls against him in practice. Can you say in your own words why you do that?
To prepare for nights like today. I mean, there were a couple times he got in there that was close. And I know we're going to go to some places and not get a so favorable whistle. I want our guys to be prepared as much as possible for that adversity, be able to play through it. When he becomes the type of player I think he's capable of becoming, he'll make the layups regardless, and now he'll be going to the line to shoot 1 free throw instead of 2.
For a coach like you who likes to build his program around defense, how does winning a game like tonight help you kind of get your players to believe even more in what you're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, it's all we talked about each time out. You know, Part of our goal was to just be disruptive and cause havoc defensively. And we got to a point where literally every time out was about defense, because I know it was just one of those days where, again, I try not to talk about specific things, but I feel like we watched a lot of guys who normally make shots, shoot good shots, and just miss. It's part of the game. We were running decent offense. I wouldn't say our offense was the best, but it gives me a chance to come back after tomorrow's day off and say, hey, trust me, if your defense can hold you down, eventually you have to make shots, right? But you'll give yourself a chance no matter what.
And how big is it to have, you've got shot blockers like Yor and Caleb's becoming one, but to have point guards like Isaac and Anderson be so committed to that end of the floor?
Yeah, again, I thought Avery was a game changer for us. Again, it's hard for just lay fans to think, man, this kid was a 4-star recruit and this dynamic playmaker and averaged 20 points. It's not what he's here for right now. That'll be something that develops for him. Right now, he needs to focus on being disruptive defensively. I thought he really ignited us on the offensive end by causing havoc with their guards, forced several turnovers because of his ball pressure. And again, him and Ice can play together, which we did a little bit today, because they're so different in the way they approach the game, both offensively and defensively.
Did you sense any frustration offensively?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard, right? I mean, they were shooting shots that they practice every day, and I tell them, a good shot is one that you practice pretty often at game speed. When you're open, your teammates expect you to take it, and if you're not taking those shots, then you can't play. This game's got to be played with great confidence. But when you're taking those shots and they don't go in, they can psychologically screw with you. The good thing today is we had some vets out there late who weren't fazed by that. Lindy hadn't played well. He made 3 big baskets late in that game to really stretch it out for us and keep us in position to win. So it comes with experience. I'm not sure Lindy plays that confidently through some struggles in his sophomore year. Maybe did a little bit better last year, but now you can see it really doesn't faze him much.
You've spoken a lot about defense, but for some of those younger guys that were known for their scoring in high school, is it kind of hard to have them buy into that defensive mindset, to not always go to the basket, but to really anchor down on defense?
In June, yeah, it is. And they don't always believe you that they won't play if they don't play defense. In November, it's not that hard because playing time's on the line. When the game's on the line, as you can see, I put the guys in there that I trust to be sound defensively. And the best teacher is having to figure it out when you're not playing as much as you want. And they know they can find their way on the court if they committed to the defensive end of the ball.
Down the stretch, you had the starters in most of the time, but there was one lineup with Avery and Jonathan in. Just kind of what was the mindset behind that?
Got to find a way to get Jonathan a little bit more confident. He's struggling right now. You can tell me he's not catching balls clean. Even that one on the break, it looked like he was trying to get his feet together before he could even shoot the layup, and no one was back there with him. So trying to help build some of his confidence. But it also, in my mind, for Avery, shows my level of confidence in him being disruptive defensively. I felt like we needed to stop. Cam was a little gassed. And at that point, when I got to maybe get Desagua out for a little bit more athleticism on the perimeter defensively, trying to figure out which one of those guys, right, either Avery or Chris or Keelan, can be the next guy to step up and be solid, not take as many chances. Chris has been a guy that I felt like has grown in that area. I wanted to just see if Avery could do it today. He did a pretty good job.
Chris is a guy who hasn't maybe found his footing offensively yet, but he's team high and plus minus. Just what are some things he's doing right?
Again, I mean, the plus minus, just like any stat, doesn't tell the whole story, but it gives you an idea of guys' level of production. He's totally committed to not worrying about his offensive game. We have guys who can make shots. His time will come. It's just a matter of getting more comfortable with the guys he's playing with, figuring out where his openings will be. But for right now, he feels pretty committed to helping our team on the defensive end, and because of that, he's getting more opportunities.
First kind of extended break with your next game being on Friday since you started playing games. Just what's the week look like for you guys?
For me, recruiting. I'll figure out where I need to go tonight and probably off tomorrow, so I'll stay on the road, come back Tuesday, and start figuring out what to do to get ourselves prepared to play better than we played today next Friday against Western Michigan.